Hello and welcome everyone, this is Type V3 and today we're taking a look at the Transformers Universe Special Edition Drag Strip. Now because I'm such a big Formula 1 fan, I figured I had to pick up this one. Originally released back in 2009 as a repaint of the classics Mirage, this guy is a Formula 1 car, or IndyCar for all you Americans. Now, admittedly, the yellow paint is a bit hit or miss. It depends if you like mustard yellow or not. The paint apps themselves have been adequate at best. I like the front suspension, I like the front wing, but unfortunately the figure suffers from huge sticky paint issues all over that beautiful red canopy. And oh god, it just looks so horrible. Oh, you can also see his head there too. Now I know what you're thinking, Formula 1, super low ride height, can he roll? Well, he rolls just fine in fact. Which is kind of surprising and really impressive when you consider just how much clearance he has, which is almost virtually none, so I don't know how they did it, but it's pretty cool. The bottom's also super impressive when you consider how filled in it is and just how flat it actually is. So, just amazing engineering on this guy, especially when you consider that the original mold for this figure came out in 2006. Interesting feature here is the wing. It's totally adjustable. You don't like where I placed it, you could put it maybe further back if you want, maybe straight up for ridiculous downforce, just get it out of the way entirely. One of the problems I had though is the front nose here. And that is, it looks fine now, but it just doesn't want to stay in place when I place the figure down, or if I accidentally drop him. Or maybe not drop him, but just put him down like this. It just tends to pop up. And this does, in fact, ruin the rolling. And I guess it also ruins the look of the vehicle slightly. So it's a bit of a disappointment. Even sometimes just staying here, the friction won't be tight enough and it won't hold in place and it'll just tend to pop up like that, which is sometimes kind of spooky when you're just sitting down here and on your desk you just hear a little pop. So I don't know. It's a minor issue. I wish it would have been resolved a bit more, or if there was a tab to hold it in place or something. But again, nothing too big for an otherwise pretty good vehicle mode. When it comes to size, Dragstrip is about as big as your average deluxe class figure. In terms of both length and width, he's about as big as you'd expect him to be. However, in your hand, he does feel significantly smaller, and that's mainly down to the fact that less plastic is obviously used here, and this is mostly down due to the design, so don't feel like you've picked up a less than adequate toy. Now, let's get past all this and check out the more important thing, and that is his transformation. While definitely not the easiest, this is one simple transformation, and the only thing you gotta look out for is not to break the central tabs that lock his torso together. Other than that, this is a quick and easy affair that you'll be done with in a matter of seconds, and when you complete, you end up with one very unique looking robot. Dragstrip's silhouette is very different from most Transformers. It's very skinny and lanky, and admittedly, I don't think many people will enjoy it. However, I think it's awesome that you can have something this diverse in your collection. For the most part, it's kibble-free, and I like how when you look at it, you can't really get a grasp of what he might transform into. Well, if you ignore the wheels. The paint detailings could have used a little bit of work, and I don't like how they removed the light piping from the head. He does have an awesome looking insignia though, so that's a big plus, but for the most part, it was a really well done job. Checking out his Poseability, he does everything that you'd expect from a modern Transformer. In fact, he does most things better than more recent Transformer releases. But first, you should check out his head. Because it's kind of just inset like that, and the fact that there's no neck, it looks like he's got these constant shrugging shoulders, which is, kind of hilarious. I don't really know what to think of it. But yeah, I mean, he's got ball-jointed everything, and even his knees, double joint there. They're a bit big, that joint, but it's double jointed. Elbows super double jointed there. Although, this part here does block it, so if you try to swivel out his arm and then bend his elbow, you can't use the double joint there. So, that's cool. His awesome part, though, is the foot. It's the spoiler, which I think is ingenious, but because it's sort of just connected on a hinge and a ball joint, you can get them super wide-legged. Now, they're not very sturdy, and you kind of need him to work with you on weight balance and stuff, but you can get some really wide-legged stances and just make the guy look super cool. But one thing the guy does suffer from the most is really loose joints, especially this waist. It just, it could have been tighter, but it's nothing that's too bad. On the weapons front, he does come with this thing. It's his front spoiler, and yeah, it looks like his front spoiler. I mean, they did add detailings to the side of it that make it look like a gun. It kind of looks like a crossbow, maybe a plasma crossbow, whatever. It doesn't make any sense. You can store it right here, and you just kind of plug it in. That kind of looks kind of weird, so I just like to push it up. And then from the front, you almost don't even see it's there. Kind of just hides really well, even from the side. Maybe it adds a bit more kibble, but if you don't want it there, you can just pull it right off and you're basically done. So as a whole, Poseability, great weapon. It's alright, but I like how it stores and it serves its purpose well. He also comes in this cool black and silver box just to remind you that he is a special edition toy. Now overall, I think Dragstrip is an awesome figure who does have some flaws, but is still worth picking up. Unfortunately, he is not better than the original molds of Mirage or Fracture, but he's definitely still a great alternative, especially if you can't afford those guys, because let's face it, classics figures nowadays have become so ridiculously expensive that they're just not even worth it anymore. I think that, for me, what makes this guy awesome is the fact that he's just so different. He doesn't look like your standard robot, and I absolutely love Formula 1, so obviously I have a bias there. I would love to see this guy painted up in more iconic race car schemes, like maybe a scarlet red from a prancing horse, or even the silver chrome of a famous British team. Hopefully I've convinced you guys enough to pick this guy up, because no one's buying him, and I think he's totally worth it. Anyways, thanks for watching. This has been Type V3. See you guys next time.